Hey guys, what is happening and welcome to another episode of Animetal Viking with me, your host Viking, and today I will be reviewing the soundtrack for Volume 1 of the smash hit web series RWBY. So without further delay, let's do this. So, let me begin by saying that this is one of the longest soundtracks I have ever listened to, excluding the soundtracks for The Witcher 3 and The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. The soundtrack's total length is around 2 hours and 6 minutes, which includes background music from all the episodes in Volume 1, and not just the opening theme and trailer music. There are a total of 28 tracks, and it was released on November 12, 2013. The music was composed and mostly performed by Jeff Williams and his daughter, Casey Lee Williams, who provided the vocals. Jeff Williams has been a long-time composer for Rooster Teeth and is also known for his work on Red vs. Blue, which is another big Rooster Teeth series. Now, this soundtrack is truly a mixed bag of various styles of music. Rock and metal seem to be the main players when it comes to the trailer music and the opening theme, but there are also splashes of genres such as classical, electronica, and industrial thrown in for good measure. The tracks that featured in the background of each episode of Volume 1 are mainly orchestral based, but do contain elements of traditional folk music, funk, more electronica, more industrial, and even more rock and metal. The soundtrack really shows that Jeff Williams has a diverse range of musical influences and is more than capable of providing a great soundtrack for a show like RWBY. Not only that, but man, can Jeff shred an amazing guitar solo when he wants to. Not to mention his daughter Casey Lee Williams. Casey has an amazing voice and she has a pretty good vocal range. Also, the fairy tale atmosphere of the background music is absolutely fantastic. The best song on the soundtrack, apart from This Will Be the Day, is definitely Wings, which was the last song played as the outro to the final episode of Volume 1. It is a really beautiful and powerful ballad, and it really has some strong lyrics in comparison to some of the more corny lyrics that the other songs suffer from. Another thing that surprised me was the rapping part in the alternate version of the song I Burn, featuring rapper Lamar Hall. All the superhero references in the rhyming didn't make sense in the context of the show, but damn was it a lot of fun and extremely cool overall, and was something I could definitely appreciate. Now we get to some of the problems that I have with RWBY's music. A perfect place to start is the background music. Now, the opening theme and the music from the trailers and insert songs are definitely memorable, and just by hearing the intro to these songs, anyone who has seen at least one episode of RWBY will be able to recognize it from the show. But the background music is sadly not that memorable. Now, don't get me wrong, these are good songs on their own, and there are one at the most two that are recognizable, and most RWBY fans will be able to recognize where the music comes from. But for the most part, the majority of the background tracks fall into the same trap as the music from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. When a score is usually composed, there are at least 1, 2, sometimes 3 underlying melodies that make a song or piece of background music memorable and recognizable, even if you haven't watched that particular movie or series in years. A perfect example of this is the soundtrack for the Lord of the Rings trilogy. All 3 scores have several tracks that are used in different parts of the films, yet Howard Shore, the composer of the Lord of the Rings soundtracks and Hobbit soundtracks, cleverly weaved in the melodies of the songs concerning hobbits and the Fellowship theme into almost every single track, so that even if a casual music listener isn't listening to the original main pieces, they will still be able to recognize that the music is from the Middle-earth movies. And sadly, the majority of the background music tracks aren't like this, with the exception of 1 or 2 tracks in certain episodes. Also, after having a chat with fellow YouTuber, musician and RWBY fan Claudio Yarso, it was pointed out to me that Jeff Williams tunes his guitar pitch too high, which conflicts with Casey's voice in certain parts of the songs. Now, this leads to Casey straining her voice to match the pitch of the guitar, especially when it comes to the solos. It also sometimes drowns out what Casey is saying, which leads to a case of misheard lyrics in certain songs. Now, I'm not saying that Jeff should downtune his guitars to gent style levels or something like that, but some downtuning is necessary in certain songs. But, as I said earlier in the review, the openings, insert songs, and trailer songs are definitely memorable and iconic for the show and won't soon be forgotten. Jeff Williams has really produced music that is unique to this show, and no other soundtrack has a sound that is remotely similar in any aspect. So, in a sense, this soundtrack can be compared to the soundtrack for Batman Beyond, where it is completely unique and no other series or film has even attempted to make a score similar to it. This soundtrack is truly a unique one, and I highly recommend that newcomers to RWBY listen to this soundtrack in its full glory to really get a better grasp of what Williams and his daughter are capable of. Hopefully the soundtrack for Volume 2 will have improved upon said flaws and will only get better with each progressing volume. And that concludes this review for today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it, and don't forget to leave a comment and let me know if you also enjoyed the soundtrack as much as I did. Also, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and don't forget to enable the little bell icon so that you are notified as to when I upload my videos. Also, share this with your friends if you have any friends who are interested in music and are interested in RWBY. And also, if you haven't already done so, guys, please be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and DeviantArt if you want to see more awesome stuff and stay up to date with what's happening on the channel. I am Viking, and until next time, have a kick-ass day.